What's up, beautiful people? Welcome to your weekly energy report. I hope you're all doing very well out there. We're living in some wild times right now. It's kind of crazy. I hope you're all doing well. Thank you for joining me. So let's get into it. On Instagram, I seem to be frozen. So give me 1 second here. Let me see if I can fix this. Yes, internet's been being all kind of funny. You know how it goes. Mercury Retrograde coming up and all around. Let's see here. There we go. All right. So we have a big week coming up here, energy wise. Okay. Of course, this is the last week that we're going to be in Virgo season. So, kind of seeing where we need to get our ducks in a row, what we need to do to accomplish the bigger picture of what we have. We've stepped into this new chapter where, new people, new places, people have been moving a lot. Disconnecting from old people, reconnecting with new people, reconnecting with old people I haven't seen in a long time. And Virgo season is all about purity, purification, right? It's about getting the little steps, getting the sleep schedule back on track, getting the diet back on track, getting whatever consistency in our day-to-day life we need and want. But the big things that are coming up here, of course, today was the full moon in Pisces, 28 degrees Pisces. That's a big deal. And whatever happens at the very end of the zodiac, it's like finishing in a new beginning. You have to see what house that falls in your chart specifically, but mine's my 12th house, right? So with that ending a new beginning, it's all these deep unconscious behavior patterns that have been coming up. Especially, I've been seeing how I sabotage myself. So, and luckily, I have some really good people around me right now that I guess can say know me better than I do, and have really been helping me to keep myself in check and not indulge in these bad habits, if you will. But we have a lot of stuff coming up here, guys. With the sun getting ready to go into Libra, Mercury getting ready to go retrograde. It's only going to travel another 2 degrees and then go backwards. So Mercury in retrograde in Libra is all about relationships, right? And it's going to be squaring Pluto. And it's going to square 3 times. So this next month and a half, Mercury square Pluto is all about like finally, seeing that deeper truth that you didn't want to admit to yourself, and really needing, like, life will create situations and obstacles to where, we're going to have to make a decision. We're going to have to move, but we can't move right away. We have to sort of simmer in it. And that simmering in it is not so much fun, so we're going to have to be doing some shadow work, some real deep truths are going to be coming. And of course, we have free will, guys. We can go whichever direction, whichever way we want. But, with that communication, it's going to hit the very center, the very core of our being, to show us, hey, we need to shift this up. Now, with that going on, we also have Venus and Uranus opposition here coming up, to be exact, this week. So that one, I mean, Venus is debilitated and Uranus is also debilitated. And we also have a mutual reception between, Mars and Venus, because Mars is debilitated in Libra. So all these personal plans, all these parts of our personality are in its, are in its shit, right? We're not seeing or feeling things, like we're feeling all the shadow of all of our ego, really. And it's like every time we try to step out of it, it's like we're going to need some guidance, from outside of ourselves to be able to really fully and properly move through this. But with this opposition, it's like unexpected things can happen all over the place. Again, regarding relationships, more particularly like sex and sexuality. Like, you could suddenly have a realization and want to, leave the person that you're with, right? Or you've been thinking about moving for a long time, and now it's like something emotionally triggers you into this childhood wound, and then you try to make a move in that emotional place. And this, it's never a good idea to make a permanent decision when you're in that kind of energy, right? Or this could be some brilliant, amazing things happening. Like you could suddenly meet some people that are in your work field, or, that you could suddenly meet the love of your life, or think it's the love of your life. At least you have that massive, like, holy shit, who are you kind of thing, right? But again, Mercury's going retrograde, like this could, But if something like that is happening, all right, if something like this, either way, is happening in your life, it's going to lead to a light bulb moment, right? An aha moment. It's going to lead to answers that you need. And you can, you're going to choose which direction that you need to go. Your soul's going to choose in order to learn that lesson. So, it could be an amazing, short-term fling that goes really, really bad. It could be, or it could be that you're married and your relationship goes to the next level and actually ends up turning out really well. Okay, so what I would recommend here, though, is do not make any impulsive decisions. Do not make any, never make a permanent decision based on a temporary emotion, right? That's kind of, the key factor, for here, while we're really trying to get ourselves organized, um, this energy has been, kind of working with me here for the last, month or so. And once I started, working with my Iboga people, it's like I found my family, right? And I've been working with ayahuasca for a long, long time in combo as well. But the Iboga family is ended up turning out to be very different. And now, like, they're my mentors, they're my best friends, they're my family. And I've surrounded myself with all these new people. We're doing some amazing things because, we want to change the world and help people. So for me, Iboga has been the best experience of my life, and it came in right at the right time. I mean, the universe is always right on time if you allow yourself to be patient, and sit with your shit and face it and feel it and move through it. And this week I feel is what's up, Karma? This week in particular is really showing us the core of that thing. What do we need to change? What do we need to move through? So, not only the moon being, loosely conjunct to Neptune retrograde is also illusion and delusion. It's making it super emotional, right? And opposed to the sun, this what do we have to do to feel good? Or are we creating a story in our mind that's based from low self-esteem? Like what is that we're doing? And then right after that, actually tomorrow the moon is going to conjunct Chiron, which Mars is coming up to its opposition with Chiron now too. So we have Venus opposing Uranus, which is unexpected, everything. We have Mars going to oppose Chiron, which is going to dig up the deep wound. And we have Mercury square to Pluto, with Mercury getting ready to go retrograde. And that's going to have us simmer on this, whatever lesson that we're learning, from our divine masculine and or divine feminine. And then be like, all right, like now you're going to have to take a different approach. Now you're going to have to try something different. Now you're going to have to let go of that attachment, or now you're going to have to be honest with yourself if you're addicted to something, or, now you're going to have to be honest. Do you want a true monogamous relationship, or do you want to just, be a fuck boy or a fuck girl and, like not have that deeper connection? Like, because right now our soul is craving connection. Our higher self is sort of guiding our ego as opposed to our ego guiding our higher self right now in this new energy. And it can be very uncomfortable, especially if we have attachments, and especially if we, just our ego is so strong that, it doesn't want to look at all this stuff. All right. Now, after the moon conjuncts Chiron, this is so interesting because it's like an extension of this full moon, right? We came through the end of the zodiac, into the beginning of the zodiac. So it's like we cleared out old stuff. Now we got to bring up this new level of new stuff, right? And the moon is going to conjunct Uranus. Let's see here on the 24th. Okay. Now Uranus is opposed Venus, during this time. So this is going to make everything very emotional, and we just brought up that chironic energy, right? And now we're sort of doubling down on this Uranus energy. And Uranus is always unexpected, right? Like we have to let the feeling go through us. It can make us want to jump up and do some last minute stuff that is, if you tend to be impulsive about things, like this is not a time to be impulsive. All right, you need to even like financially and relationally. Okay, like you might want to, like, I wouldn't like recommend going out buying anything big right now, right? I mean, if you already had it in the works, then that's okay. But right now, like any deals that come in or any offers that come in, they could be huge, like next level huge. That could get you to that next spot that you're trying to get, or they could set you back, back down to ground zero and have to work way back up because you had a lesson that you had to learn, but you weren't willing to look at it. Okay. And of course, with the sun coming into Libra, not to mention Mars being there, this is really like, what is your relationship to money? What is your relationship to your physical health? right? Of course, with everything going on out in the world, this is like, what are you gonna sacrifice, in your life for out of fear? Like, are you living in fear or are you living in love? Now, when I say love, is that, self-love, I mean, if you don't have self-love, then you don't really have love with anybody else. But where is it that if you're sabotaging yourself, or if you're creating circumstances in your life that are unfavorable to you, that is self-sabotage, right? So, we have to find that feeling inside. We have to trust that feeling in our heart, in order to, have that next level bliss. Now, I will say, going through all this, I believe either way is going to have like a really positive result. There's some kind of gift coming from this next month and a half of this Mercury retrograde. Okay. That's going to give us either, the next level of the relationship they're in, that we want to be peaceful and strong, but we got to, both face that stuff. Or, it could be that like next big thing that you're coming into with your job. Or like this could also, what I'm seeing a lot around the world right now is you have to quit your job because of the bullshit that they're trying to coerce you into. And then suddenly you meet so many people that did the same thing. Now you all start up, your own business or something like that. And then, things turn out 10 times better, right? The safety right now of life is, there's a collective attack on our root chakra, guys. So, if you're not feeling safe and you're feeling like something outside of you is going to give you safety and security in the economy or in this 3D matrix that we all live in, then you are sorely mistaken. Where everything is going for the age of Aquarius is community. And we can see that happening right now on a large scale everywhere. Like, people are coming together, because we're seeing like all these different industries and things, they're lying to us, right? And they're not helping, they're just creating more problems. It's sick care. So everything's going to be really about relationships here in the next couple of weeks. And on the 24th, with this moon right here traveling from Uranus and opposed to Venus, then it's gonna the next day it's gonna conjunct the North Node. So this is literally like clearing out old stuff, bringing up that new deep, who am I, who do I want to be, where am I going to go in my life, then into some kind of surprising experience that is going to test our ability to stay in our heart. And then when the moon conjuncts the North Node, which we have the Sun and Mars trining the North Node, sextile the South Node. So this is showing us, like, our soul is showing and guiding us, look, you got to go through this discomfort, but look at what's on the other side. You can just feel it. It's like, for me, it's like a tractor just pulling me in this direction. And, it's being pulled in this direction and trusting it. I literally just packed up and moved from Vegas to LA just out of nowhere. And when I got here, it's kind of like shell shock. Like, I'm like, wow, did I make the right decision? What the fuck am I doing? Like, oh my God, like, where am I going to go from here? And I just started to want to run away. And I started to realize that, like, what the fuck am I running away from? I'm running away from a beautiful life. Like, it's so interesting that even when you're doing well in life, like, you still get these old patterns and behaviors. And like, but, no, like, maybe I almost feel like I'm missing something from, toxicity being processed out of my life, if you will. Like, it's a very different feeling, but this is the ascension, this is the elevation. And we have to trust in our heart. And that doesn't really bring the immediate gratification that we wanted, that we're used to, right? Which is why who you surround yourself with is so incredibly important. But onto this other aspect, we also have Mars trining Saturn, and the Sun is going to be coming into its trine with Saturn as well. Of course, we have Saturn trining the North Node and sextile the South Node as well. It's definitely leaving now, though. It's about 5-degree orb away. So that's still hanging around, which means that we have some good karma, from however many lifetimes, that is definitely present right now. But with Saturn, you need to go get it. But with the trine with Mars, it's like that drive is just, yeah. So the motivation is really high to turn things around and figure things out, but also the fear is really high. Okay, so this is what sort of, I would say, champions are made of, because they Good karma, good karma. This is what champions are made of, because this is what, like athletes and, people that compete and, people that have that sort of mindset. This is what we do, for our life, but this is just ramping it up like tenfold. Okay. So, trust your heart and trust that inner warrior, inside of you that is, guiding you and pushing you in this direction. Just be careful, because at the same time, like, it can feel overwhelming. It can feel too much. And with that feeling too much or overwhelming, that's where escapism comes, into play. And we want to watch that escapism. Although, like, sometimes I know for me, I'm super, super stubborn. So when I'm in my escapism, like, I won't listen to anybody. Usually it's been getting better lately, but it's not until I kind of push it too far. Either I try to work too much or help too many. I tend to try to help too many people, and then I just suck myself dry, so self-care is love. That's, love for self. So, maybe you need to take a day off. Like, if you're like me, maybe you take off a day at the gym, or a day away from, yoga, or, I don't know, making your food or whatever. Like, have what I like to call a DDS day. Don't do shit. Sometimes it's okay to, just sit around for hours and, like, watch movies and, eat popcorn. Like, emotional health is super important. And right now we're getting bombarded with emotional, physical, just the collective is going through, the dark night of the soul. And so we're all doing a lot of work, especially all you light workers out there, that are tuning into this, which I think pretty much all of you are. The beach. Yes. The beach is an amazing place to go. I've been facilitating a lot of ceremonies. So, creating that ceremonial space, that container of energy to heal and grow, and just watching other people have breakthroughs and, growing and learning is so incredibly satisfying. It's, I'm incredibly grateful to be able to do this kind of work. Speaking of which, if any of you guys are interested in doing ceremony, we do many different kinds of ceremonies. So go ahead and go to my website, spiritualbible.com, and just download my free ebook that I'll put you on my mailing list, so that you can get get all my updates about when and where, and how these ceremonies going down. Okay. And also, don't forget too, probably first weekend in October, I'll be putting more advertisements out about when I'm going to start doing that. But I'm going to start up doing the Friday at 1 p.m. Weekly Zoom integration meetings, right? There's, even if you're, whatever it is that you're doing, whether you're making a big, life-changing decision. Yes, the link is in the bio. Thank you, Karma. Whatever it is that, you have going on. Sorry about that. It's always good to connect with like-minded people, especially people that don't have a whole lot of people around them to talk about this kind of stuff, whether it be personal growth or even energy / astrology, or, if you did ceremony and a lot of things happen and you're trying to make sense of it all, like I noticed after Iboga, or especially after Bufo, like it rocks your consciousness so hard that sometimes it takes a little help to navigate and understand where to put the pieces back when you come out of it. So that's what I'm here to do, to help people understand what's going on through this ascension process. So every Friday at 1 p.m. And I'll be posting that on my website as well. Okay. So this grand trine on the 24th is going to be very favorable, and we're still going to be feeling this full moon energy from Pisces, from the full moon at 28 degrees Pisces. Now, being at the anorectic degree, that's clearing out some big stuff. All right. I'd blow up on the TikTok. I just can't get into that shit, man. Maybe, like, if I have someone help me to figure out how to do it, like, I'll give it a shot. But yeah, right now it's just not a place for me. But that's okay. It's all good. But anyways, in 2025, we're going to be having the Saturn and Neptune conjunction at, I believe it's 29 degrees of Pisces, and it's going to be conjunct moving into 0 degrees, I think 1 degree of Aries. And that's going to be like the next Saturn-Pluto conjunction, except Saturn and Neptune, that's activation of higher levels that's real big DNA activation and, creating higher levels of consciousness. I think that's when we're going to start to be able to really know how to work with these extrasensory energies like teleportation or telepathy or levitation or moving things with our minds. Like I've already almost gotten to that, which tripped me the fuck out after Iboga. Just blasted my consciousness open so much. So I think that this was sort of clearing out all the heavy debris, if you will, of past lives or of, previous karma or, stuff that we need to work through. Now, if you have a lot of stuff to work through, this full moon is going to be bringing up a lot of stuff. It's like, this is mutable energy and it's water. Okay. And Neptune represents a collective consciousness. So this is clearing us out on a collective level, the super conscious level, but we're all feeling it, especially if you're highly empathic like myself. Right. So we're going to be feeling deep down stuff. Maybe you don't even know why you're feeling what you're feeling. You're like, I just want to go eat junk food and, and you never do that. Or you just want to sit around and cry or, things that may make no sense whatsoever could be happening. And this is why it's going to be important to just sit with yourself. It's temporary. It'll pass. It's going to go bye-byes pretty soon. Okay. So let's see, on the 25th, we have this Sun-Mars sort of conjunction here. It's been moving through for about a week. It'll probably keep going for about another week or so. And then, of course, this whole week, Mercury is basically not moving, right? And Pluto is really not moving either because Pluto goes direct on October 6th, I believe, or 4th. So with that, the deepest planet, the deepest excavation of our consciousness, meeting at its strongest point, meeting Mercury at its strongest point in Libra, between Libra and Capricorn. This is all about how is, learning to balance relationship between your relationships, like your self-care, your self-help, and also your foundation of life, your life purpose, like who you are in this world, what you want to be. Are you and your partner in alignment with the same mission in life? Are you going in separate directions, or do you only have one kind of connection? You want more of a connection, or is there always like a fight fuck situation going on where you're fucking and then you're just fighting all the time, then you make up fuck and then you fight because the make up fuck was weird, and fuck that shit, dude. Like that's just not fun. You know what I'm saying? But also, don't forget Saturn is basically station 2 to go direct, which is actually pretty good with the aspects that it has here, with all these trines and sextiles. So, but this means everything is going to feel very, very karmic. All right. And then Jupiter is, moving pretty slowly too, because it's going to be going direct here in October as well. So these are all the transpersonal planets that are basically sitting still and we're simmering. We're just sitting there like in this melting pot of energy that's very uncomfortable, but it has to dissolve. It has to melt off. It has to be, shifted away. So just be ready, guys. Okay. Especially Mars in Libra and, sitting so close to the sun. This is like that, I want to take action. I want to make sure I have the sun conjunct Mars in my natal chart, in Capricorn, actually. So, I'm always go, let's make shit happen. I got to be the biggest, best, fastest, out of everybody. I mean, when I put my mind to something, I get obsessed with it, right? Bodybuilding. Yeah, I definitely pushed myself too much, and then it created a lot of health issues for me. So, but then that's what created, me understanding microscopy and working with plant medicines and doing all these things that have completely, healed me and changed my life forever. But, for a little while I got, so into that, I was sort of chasing the dragon, and, that was no good. So, it's going to be easy to kind of go off the deep end here with, you're going to see something and oh my God, now I know exactly what to do. And you're going to go change your life. And then suddenly you come back a month and a half later and now you need a place to live or stay, and you don't have one. And it you didn't really plan out, all the details because Mercury is stationed to go retrograde. The details for this big idea that you have is going to come over the next 6 weeks. So, and we need the details, even though its feeling is going to be so impulsive and so strong. This could be where you meet someone and you're getting all fucked up at a party and let's go get married. And you're in Vegas and you go get married, and then you wake up, you're like, what the fuck just happened, right? Now I'm stuck with this person. You have to go get an annulment, or then you find out that it's sort of like that movie, Just Married or whatever. Like then suddenly you find out you really love each other, and it's like, holy fuck. But it's going to take time either way, either direction you go. It's going to take this next month and a half to do it, because Mercury is going to cross over. Actually, it's going to cross over Pluto in its square on the 23rd, 24th. All right. And then it's going to go back again, of course, about a week later. And then at the end, in about 6 weeks from now, it's going to go back again. So we're getting a double whammy here while they're both stationed. I mean, and then when they're both direct, that's getting the real finalization of the answer. That's like, okay, now this is settled. Now this is done. Now this is gone. Yay. All right. So let's see here if you guys have any questions. Oh, shit. I haven't looked at the chat over here. What's up, Taylor? What's up, Emma? It's good to see you guys. What's up, Marlon? So happy you guys are on here. It's really good to see you. We are warriors. It's like what we're feeling. We Taylor said, we may not even understand what we're feeling. I know I haven't been understanding what I'm feeling, and it's been kind of like, fuck, man. And normally I want to either run away or go do a ceremony, or go do just sort of just distract myself from it and just not think about it. But I'm not doing that this time. I'm sitting and I'm staying consistent, emotionally. And, that's, I think, exactly what we need to do. But everybody's on their own path and everybody's on their own journey, to do this. I would say this is a really good time to be doing like some kind of ceremony. And, if you feel called to it. And, what I'm also discovering now, working with some other really amazing people, around the world, is that, there's many different ways to do ceremonies. Like, I did a beautiful heart opening ceremony with sassafras, a few weeks ago. And that was really interesting. And we just sat around and just talked about our feelings and, and meditated and just sat there and just chilled. And it was really beautiful. Whereas you go to ayahuasca ceremony, you're not allowed to touch each other. It's a very individualized process. And there's one person that, sings the Icaros and does everything. So it's more like a service almost, right? So, you can just have people over your house and, do a little kumbaya time or whatever, it's really a good idea to work on and focus on nourishing the relationships that you have that are helping you to become the better version of you, right? To grow. Like when you say you want something, well, are your actions meeting up, lining up with your words? Like, are you, if you want to get in really good shape, well, are you going to the gym every day? Are you, cutting out junk food? Are you, taking care of yourself? There's thousands of things that you can do to really go in that direction. But is your actions, is your habits, shifting and changing? Changing habits is not an easy thing to do, right? But it's so important to learn how to do that, because that's really, how you raise your vibration through shifting, your daily habits. And this is what, the sun at the end of Virgo is really all about. It's all about, okay, it's time to get your shit together, right? Like there's no more playing victim. There's no more, like, if you really want this, like, and we're going to feel it. We're going to feel like I got to do something. Right? I got to shift something. I got to work on something. So I know for me, so Mama Jody, for me, it's like, okay, I need to I like to, munch on, shitty food at night before I go to bed. While I'm watching TV. So what I do, I'm not going to watch TV tonight. And I'm just going to go lay down or go lay on my sound lounge, which is the best investment I ever made. If you guys are interested in getting one of those, it's awesome. You can go to iaminharmony.com and check them out there. It's a vibrating table, but you lay on that thing and it's just like it's like meditation on steroids. Absolutely amazing. Right. Also, I want to send a shout out to my homie Bryce. He's my Iboga mentor. The dude is just one of the highest vibrating people I know, and he's helping a lot of people, and he's guiding me to help people as well. So give him a follow on Instagram. It's a Combo Healing Me. All right. And he also has a lot of the information about iboga, about kambo, about ayahuasca on his website, and he sells hape and caripes and chacapas and all this cool stuff, right? Do I still talk to Aaron? I haven't talked to Aaron in a while. Him and Victor moved away, and I was supposed to go to a couple of ceremonies with them, but I ended up being too far away. Victor Odo, he's my other homie. Him and Aaron are awesome. Aaron, Victor, if you guys are watching this, what's up? I love you guys. I miss you. They moved away from Vegas, but now I moved away from Vegas too. So, life is just taking us in different directions. But I'm definitely surrounded by really good quality people right now, and I'm really, really grateful for it. So on that note, coming into Libra season, to sort of sum everything up, yes, we do mesh very well. They're good peeps. I actually think I might go see them in Costa Rica in November. We shall see. So happy birthday to all you Libras out there, and also late happy birthday all you Virgos. Big things coming up, guys. Now I think on the world stage, all right. I think on the world stage, this is going to really start to bubble up a lot more resistance. And also, like, as the resistance rises, though, so is the coercion, if you will. But at some point, it's gonna snap. I think it's gonna really snap probably the end of this year, when the nodes finally come out of Gemini and Sagittarius and into Taurus and Scorpio, because that's going from the mutable energies, in the collective, to the more fixed energies. And that's going to be where it's like, all right, we ain't fucking having this shit no more. Now, what does that mean? Like, is it going to mean civil war? Is it going to mean I don't really know. I thought, for a long time that was definitely going to happen. Now I'm not so sure. Because, there's a lot more people waking up. There's a lot more people like standing their ground and not allowing this coercion, or just not drinking the fucking Kool-Aid, because it's so incredibly obvious. I mean, if you don't see it, then there's no hope for you, honestly. I mean, like, just the brainwashing is real, guys. Fucking brainwashing is real. And people that haven't woken up yet, like, I think they're going to sort of become stuck in that place once the nodes turn, right? Dale, what's up, brother? Good to see you on here, man. And we also have Chiron going to 10 degrees as well. So coming back into the first decan, that's definitely going to be bringing up, like, the first decan has to do with all like the deep rooted fundamental stuff coming up, get clear. The second decan is more like, okay, now it's all come up. Now let's unpack it and figure it all out, right? And the third decan is, you figured out the fundamentals. Now it's time to master the details, the rest of the way. That's how the energies work with this stuff. Dale, I'm doing very well, man, and I hope you're doing well too. I miss you, brother. And I know you didn't hear this earlier, so I'll say it again. I'm going to start back up probably the first week, the first Friday or second Friday of October. I'm going to send out an email, let you guys know. But we're going to start doing integration meetings Fridays at 1 p.m. Pacific again. So Dale, I hope to see you on there, man. But back to these energies. This week is going to bring up a lot of stuff to be unpacked. So don't make any super impulsive decisions. Like, whatever you feel, whatever happens, that, like, because the Venus opposed to Uranus is surely going to bring some stuff up that you didn't expect was going to come up. Going to come out of probably like left field. Like, whoa, like, I did not expect that. Probably the least amount that you expected, like, that could never ever happen, is the more likely that it is going to come up. All right. So, and with the Sun conjunct Mars, you're going to be super passionate, but you're going to be super passionate, but you're going to feel like, okay, wait a minute. It's almost like you have like this, like, you just went through this like hour-long meditation. You're super aligned. You're about to go run on a tightrope, right? Now you have a little balancing thing, but if you go too fast, you're not going to be able to calibrate it very well, right? So you're going to go slow, and you're in the zone. You're like, bam, yeah, let's get it. And with Pluto being stationed to go direct, and Mercury going retrograde, It's like you have to do the math. You can't cheat on the math, right? You can't use a calculator. You can't, you're going to have to write everything out and think every step of the way. Okay, this is going to bring me to these 10 possible outcomes. And so I want this, and every step of the way, no matter how much you like or hate math, you got to do the math. That's just, a part of the process of where you're going to go. Now, things like plant medicine will greatly help you break the math down and figure out, it's like having a tutor, like a cosmic tutor in your mind, right? Okay, well, here it is. But then after you're done, you're like, okay, so how did they get to that conclusion? That this is the integration part, right? You're gonna figure out, well, if you keep telling yourself you're terrible at math, then you're gonna be terrible at math. All right. This is cosmic metaphysical math here. This is energetic math. All right. Learning how to understand the different language of the different frequencies at the very core, right? So when you experience, greater, expansions of frequencies, like the deeper you experience it, the more you're going to be able to figure it out, understand it, right? But you need the integration time to be able to do that. If you're just like doing a ceremony, then you're like, all right, boom, I got to do this, I know what to do, and I'm going to go. No, that's bad juju. That's a bad idea. Sit with it for a couple of weeks. Feel it out. See how, your interacts with other people as you're putting these pieces together. You got to do it internally for a while. And then when these plans go direct, then you say, okay, now I can take this step because I'm 100%, I feel 100% like this is the way it's going to go. Or it's almost like the universe is just going to bring the steps to you, and then you just respond to the steps. You're not going out trying to find the steps. You're allowing the steps to just come through you and move through it. I hope that makes sense. And I hope you guys enjoyed this energy reading. So on that note, I hope you guys have an amazing, wonderful, beautiful week. And don't forget to go onto my website, spiritualbodybuilder.com. The link is in the bio, and download my free ebook to get on my newsletter so that you guys can get the information for my ceremonies that I'll be running. All right. Love you all very much. You guys have, thank you, Marlon. I appreciate that. All right. Love you guys. I'll see you next week. Every